piece over there. Hey gang, welcome to Mears Lab. I just picked up a whole bunch of cool stuff and I thought that you might be interested. Let's get into it. Bunch of tubes. Ooh, silver bar prunes. Or is it? This is pretty neat. Not sure if you can see that. A resisto cabinet. Cool, eh? But I bet you haven't seen one of these before. Whoa! And this one's even heavier than that one. Here's the biggest box, and it is literally filled to the top with tubes. This box is probably 2 feet high and 1.5 feet wide in each direction, and it is filled with brand new tubes. This is exactly what I've been holding out for years. Up till this point, I've basically had to mail order 1 or 2 tubes at a time whenever I'm doing restorations, but now I shouldn't have to do that anymore because I have a huge stockpile of brand new tubes. We're going to have a lot of fun testing these. Here is the IRC Resisters Resisto cabinet. So what is this? Well, here it is. It's a cabinet just filled to the brim with resistors. It's got all these nice little drawers in here that are labeled for all the standard values. And it's full of resistors too. Look at that. Here's the first drawer. Whoa! Check that out. Oh, it's a little bit stuck in there. Of course. Whatever. You get the idea. And it's got a bunch of these. And these look like they're a ton of new old stock ones. And look at the size of them too. That means that these are higher wattage ones. Real nice. That's going to be very, very handy for restorations. Some of these might not be the greatest quality ones to use, but look at that. There's just a whole bunch of them in here. These will certainly come in handy and help keep things kind of period correct, if you will. Very neat. And it looks like there should be a bunch in that drawer, and there is. Look at that. Most of these look like they're brand new. You can tell because the leads are perfectly straight on them. Look at that. Very cool. Very, very cool. And more down there. And there's the bottom drawer. Way more down there. Look at that. Just tons of them. That's great. And then it's got this cool thing on the top right here too. Handy formulas for determining wattage, current, and resistance values. But you know, they're just kind of cool to have there because sometimes you're just having a Monday morning on a Friday night while you're fixing stuff and you can't remember the formulas, then they're just written right there for you so you don't have to. That's cool. Yeah, Resisto cabinet. There is some real treasure inside this box. This one's filled with more boxes. Cool. It's what's inside of these boxes that makes it cool. Maybe I'll open up a smaller one. Let's have a look at this one. Bunch of boxes, all different sizes. Oh, that might be a giveaway. Inside of all these boxes are brand new. Oh, careful how I open this. Brand new project boxes. Look at that. Yeah. Normally these are fairly expensive to order a whole bunch of them, and I just got a whole pile of them. He had a stockpile, and I didn't even take them all. I only took half of what he had, and there's quite a few of them in here. Let's get a closer look here. Alright, get that big one out of the way. There's a whole bunch more down in there. And right over there is a DC power supply. Up to 24 volts at 1.5 amps. That's pretty cool. He said I'll probably need to check this over, and I wouldn't be surprised, and I would anyways. But still, that's a nice little thing that he tossed in the box. Now we're getting into the really good stuff here. This is a triplet model 3433 signal generator. He had this just hidden under his bench, stuffed away in the corner, and as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. I mean, I'm just a sucker for stuff that looks like this. I mean, come on, look at it. The red and the black, beautiful. All together, the paint is in relatively good condition. A little bit of chipping here and on the top of it as well. But most importantly, it has all of the original knobs on it here. Or at least I believe that these chicken head knobs are totally original. It has the original dial knob right here. And it works really well. It's actually really nice and smooth. It has the meter right here. Glass is still in there. No cracks in the glass. Still has the fuse holder. It's just an altogether really, really nice looking condition. There is a missing screw here and a mismatched one down there, which kind of suggests that somebody's been in here poking around and doing a bit of work. Wouldn't be surprised if some tubes have been changed over the years, and maybe that's why the screws are different down there. But anyways, this is going to be an awesome piece. Once this is restored, this is going to live on my bench, and this will be what I use for calibrating and testing all of my radio equipment here in the lab. The frequency range, if you're wondering, is 100 kilohertz to 120 megacycles. So 100 kilohertz all the way to 120 megahertz. Really nice wide range on it. I wonder if the bulb still works in there. I wonder if there's tubes inside of this thing. Well, you know what? If there isn't tubes, then I'll certainly have lots of tubes that I can add into it with all these boxes that I've got now. Another box over here, and this one's got more tubes. 3 giant boxes of tubes. We got some books here too. Got some probes as well. Look at that. Got some probes, which are going to come in handy. Now all of these tubes in here are used but tested and labeled. And he said that the majority of these should be good. Don't really know what condition they're in, but you know what? There's a whole bunch of more tubes in here, and I really have no idea what's in here, because what's inside the boxes might not be what's labeled on the boxes. But there's a ton of them in there. 104 Weekend Projects by Joseph Carr. RCA Receiving Tube Manual. It's always a handy one to have. Archer Transistor Substitution Guide. Sometimes it's hard to find data sheets for some of this stuff, so that's what it's great to have all these old books for. Tube Substitution Handbook. Nice piece of Radio Shack literature right there. That's a neat one. $1.95. Wow. Not going to find that kind of stuff at Radio Shack anymore. GE Electronic Tubes, Essential Characteristics of Receiving Tubes. Wow, yeah. Germanium diodes. Kinds of neat stuff. Yeah, that's a nice book. Well worn too. And yeah, look at that. This Sylvania technical manual. This one will go nicely with my other one that I have that I got from my father. It's got all kinds of tube characteristics in here and all kinds of other information about tube circuits and all kinds of neat stuff in the back of it. These are awesome books. And these are very, very helpful whenever you're doing testing and restorations of old tube gear. This is what was inside of that Silver Bar Prunes wooden case right here. And these are a bunch of other brand new tubes. So the boxes are a little worn down on some of these. For the most part, these are all brand new. And there's all kinds of different tubes in here with really oddball ones, you know, that I haven't really seen much of before. 6 CF6s, 12 BY7A. Oh boy, all kinds of stuff in here. This is what I wanted a big load of tubes for, is you just get all these values that, you know, that you're going to need sometime, but usually you can only find them online, and then you never know what condition they're in, all kinds of stuff. But now I can test all these and I can catalog them, and I'll know exactly what I have on hand, and it'll speed up my repairs and just make everything that happens in the lab here that much better. This is, yet and again, very, very cool. Wow, look at these tubes. These are enormous. Look at the size of that. So this one, it says U.S. Navy type CWL 803 and July 1943 is written on it. U.S. Navy CWL 803. You can see a little getter spot there, a little getter spot there. Isn't that cool? Let's see if you can see the little lettering on the video. Yeah, and this box is just full of tubes like this. I actually don't... I'll have to look these up in my books that I've got to see what they're used for. There's some other ones in here that are still big, a little bit smaller than that. This is JAN 813. I think that's a military tube as well. Canadian Marconi Company. Made in the USA. Made in the USA. Canadian Marconi Company. This is GE, General Electric. So, this is cool. I think that this might be for the output side of a radio, for a transmitter. A friend of mine, I showed him these and he thought that they might be for the output side of a radio transmitter. Like a kind of high output, high wattage. There's some other neat stuff in here. I noticed over here, there's a Mullard EL37. That's a nice tube right there. British made. Some funny looking tubes here. Look at that. Look at that tube. That is cool. Got the two little ears in the top right here. This is a Marconi 35131. This is 815 on it. This is cool. Got another little one down here. Look at that. The letters are all messed up on it too. That is something else. Look at that. Right here where it says tube, the letters aren't on straight. That is cool. That's an 832A Westinghouse. It's one of the... It almost looks like there's a broken pin there in the bottom of it. Not sure if you can see that or not. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pin socket. 2 pins in the top. Hopefully my tester or what's inside that red box might work on this. Anyways, lots of really cool tubes in here. We'll have to look at these much closer in the coming videos, but yeah, this is pretty awesome. Some folks out there might know what's inside of a beautiful red case like this, but if you don't know, the company Hickok is really well known for using these beautiful red cases to hold their beautiful tube testers. Let's open this up and see what's inside. Here it is. This is the Hickok Model 121. It's right up there underneath the wire. It's hard to see with that there. This is a Cardmatic Dynamic Mutual Conductance Tube Tester, made in the USA. Hickok, right there. So I've seen some tube testers which are very similar to this, you know, with the red case and then the gold sort of color here. But I haven't seen one of these Cardmatic ones before. Maybe in pictures, never in person. And I don't really see these come up on auctions very often either. So that makes it pretty unique, you know. I've never really seen one before. A couple of things I would point out right now is the meter does not, unfortunately, seem to be original. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws right there. Some sort of a green pad right there. Not sure what the deal is with that. I don't know if that just comes off of there. It's protecting something underneath it. And anyways, the other ones I've seen have a far more colorful meter than this. So that's a bit of a letdown. It's mutual conductance, so I think there's a chance that this would probably give GM readings on it. But whatever, you know what, I can't really get them from a meter like this. But this is just cool to have anyways, right? The price was right. So I said, yeah, sure, let's go for it. Inside here, there's the CA4 Compactron adapter. So I'm guessing you would probably plug this into the octal socket up here. And oh, look at that. I thought that was fixed into there, but I guess it's not. Cool. I wonder if this would maybe work with my other tube tester. My other one is a Stark 966A. I wonder if this would work with that. Cool. Anyhow, yeah, I guess this would plug into the octal socket up here in the middle, and then you could test some other Compactron tubes there. The power cable is this isn't really rough shape. Check it out. If I do this, it just breaks. You know, it just breaks right off. So that'll be replaced right away. And it was a grounded cable on here at one time. Somebody did the big no-no and broke off the third tab. Oh no, who does that? Anyways, they're probably using this in an older home that didn't have grounded sockets, and then they just had to do that, you know. Interesting right here. This is the line adjust switch, and it has steps on it. There's the off position for the different voltages. So it kind of goes from 105 to 125 volts. And so it goes from 109 to 111, 113, 115, 117, 119, 121. So in steps of 2 volts. That's not really ideal. My other tester, you know, this is constant. There's no steps in there, so you can get the voltage exactly where it needs to be. But this will probably get it pretty close, you know. Let's get that wire out of the way here. So I've never used a tester like this before, but from what I've heard, how it works is, you know, I'm not even sure how I get the cards out of this one. There you go. You look up the tube that you want to test. Let's say it's a 21GY5, 21G15. This is card 2 of 2. And it says CA4, so that means I probably have to use the Compactron adapter right here. So you take, you know, there wouldn't be one of those in there. You take it and you put it in here. And then, I don't really know what else you do. I'll have to read the manual. But I suppose you probably set the line voltage right here. Because if you were using this, you probably have to set the dials correctly on here. And then you probably do, yeah, you hit this button to read your line voltage. And then there's a quality heater test right here, gas test right there. And then there is number 4, which is usually the GM test right there. That's usually the main test. Something I think is particularly neat is when you're checking for shorts, this looks like it has separate little bulbs, probably neon bulbs, 5 of them in here, if they're to indicate if there's a short for the plate, the screen, the suppressor, grid, and the cathode right there. Yeah, that's pretty neat, you know, that they would each individually light up. I suppose for, you know, for real true accuracy, it'd probably be better to have one bulb. This is just my own speculation, because if any one of these had burned out, you would only be able to know that it was burned out by, you know, taking it out and testing it. If you use the same bulb for each one of these, then you can see that the bulb's working with each position. But with this one of these individual bulbs could be burned out theoretically, but whatever. This thing's cool. There's another neon bulb right there, and there looks like there's some calibration, little slotted screwdriver heads in here. anyways, the case is in nice shape, other than kind of being musty and, you know, and having the non-original meter, which really seems to be the bane of a lot of Hickok testers. I don't know what's gone on out there, but you know, this seems to be pretty common nowadays that the original meters are missing from Hickok testers, and it's a real shame because these are pretty much near impossible to find the original replacements for. But you know what, maybe this one still works fine. Eventually we'll crack this open and have a look at the inside and replace any worn out components in it, and make it work hopefully just as good as it did whenever it rolled off the production line. Hopefully along the way we'll figure out how to put these cards back in here the right way. Don't really know how that works. But yeah, this is the Hickok Model 121 that was inside of that cool red case. If you liked this video, then please take the time to subscribe to my channel, like my video. It goes a long way, and then you'll be able to find out about when I'm posting all the new videos, like when we're gonna have a closer look at these tubes, and when we're gonna have a closer look at that tube tester, and all kinds of other neat stuff. I love vintage electronics, and you're gonna see a lot more of it here on the Mears Lab channel. Well gang, it's time for me to go. Thank you very much. Have a good one.